They have the largest military in the world. Their Navy is now larger than ours. You can see with the activity that they've been undertaking over the past, 6 months, sort of accelerated military activity in the Taiwan Strait, in the South China Sea, very aggressive. And I think this is all part of, one of Xi Jinping's major sort of directives is really to reclaim the territory that he considers to be Chinese sovereign territory. And so I think they use any excuse they can to sort of do these military exercises, I think in the hopes basically to coerce other countries and Taiwan just to accede to Chinese demands. That hasn't happened yet, but I think that really is the intention. So there's been no let up, despite the challenges in the Chinese economy. There's been no let up in terms of their spending on defense, in terms of the overall trajectory of their military and their desire to be able to project force in meaningful ways.
Dr. Economy, what do you believe the Chinese view is of President-elect Trump here?
So I think, look, there are as many, views in China about President Trump as there are in the United States. I think there are people who welcome President Trump for a range of reasons. There are people who are kind of, MAGA Chinese who like the president's views around values, or at least the views that were expressed during the campaign around values. There are people who think that President Trump is going to be good for China because he's going to pull the United States, back out of a number of international institutions, things like the World Health Organization or the Paris Climate Accords, and leave a lot of space for China to assert its leadership on the global stage. People who think that there are going to be problems between the United States and our allies because President Trump has a sort of more transactional approach to how to navigate our relations there. And so, we saw a lot of problems in the first Trump term with our European allies that China tried to exploit. I think they're thinking in those terms again. Are they going to have opportunities like that? At the same time, of course, President Trump has promised variously to level, 60% tariffs on, all Chinese exports, 25% tariffs, 10% tariffs. We don't know where, the number's going to land. We don't know whether it's going to be whether the tariffs are basically, the threat of tariffs is basically a tool to get China back to the negotiating table. All of these things are sort of up in the air at this point in time. So a mix of views, I think, about what President Trump might mean for the country.